Hi, everyone. Welcome to What They Do. This is a series we kind of put together again, going over the different individuals part of the real estate transaction. Today we have Terry Davids. She is our team's basically admin. She takes care of all the paperwork. The thing we're going to focus on is the transaction coordinator role. Okay, so the transaction coordinator role is something that most transactions that are buying a property in San Diego County or California, the realtor is kind of helping you out with like putting the game plan together while the transaction coordinator is taking care of the paperwork. All right. Terry, can you walk us through what a transaction coordinator does?
Well, if you're on the buyer side, once the contract has been accepted, I will take care of ordering your physical inspection for you and things of that nature, and then coordinating for you to go ahead with escrow to get your deposit together. And then once I get all of the paperwork from the listing side, I'll go ahead and go over it, make sure it's correct, and then send it to you to sign. And any documentation or any needs or questions that you have, I can take care of during the entire process.
Now, each transaction coordinator, if there is one involved in the transaction you're working with, can be a little bit different. Sometimes they're doing more of the paperwork. Sometimes they're more interactive. For Terry, we kind of wanted to make it a little more hands-on, so you have multiple people that can talk to you about the transaction. When she's talking about the paperwork in the real estate transaction, we're talking about a daunting amount. We're talking about 200 and some pages, probably from start to finish. Would you say somewhere around there, Terry, or more?
Pretty much. When you open an escrow, you put to work a lot of people, and my job is to keep everybody running in the right direction.
Yeah, so we're talking about paper.
I've got 18 years of real estate experience behind me, so I pretty much know how to schedule things for you.
When you started in real estate 18 years ago, how much paperwork was involved in the transaction?
About half of what's involved right now. I always tell people for every lawsuit, there's another page.
Exactly. So there's a lot of paperwork. A lot of the stuff boils down to the one side giving you information about the property, about the community, and the other side understanding what that is and doing their due diligence on the property. Yet the paperwork is a huge factor to understand that, have someone walk you through that. So the transaction coordinator role is going to be the individual that's really going to make sure you're aware of everything, crossing the T's and dotting the I's during the real estate transaction. So your realtor that you decide to work with is probably going to pick the transaction coordinator. Yet there are entities that I'm assuming you're probably aware of too, that are independent entities out there where maybe the buyer or the seller could probably reach out to and pick their own, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so usually your realtor is probably going to have someone that they feel trusted with, that knows the way they do business, yet there is the ability to find an independent person out there. So just want to keep this short and sweet so you just kind of understand. In essence, the transaction coordinator is the person taking care of the paperwork, taking care of that everything that must go on in the process and making sure that everything is taken care of. Any last words you can think of that might help someone out in choosing the right transaction coordinator if they do choose it themselves, Terry?
I think that the best transaction coordinators are people that have been in real estate and are licensed. You have to make sure that they have a license.
Okay, yeah, I think it's a great idea. I mean, and a lot of people know that. I mean, there's one thing from studying in school compared to actually doing real stuff out there on the field. And so having that person that's done some real estate and knows what it entails could probably help you out in the process when you're going over all the paperwork. So make sure you're protected. Talk to your realtor if you don't know who your transaction coordinator is, because they're probably going to help you out and they're behind the scenes kind of walking you through a lot of the things. Thank you for following this. Please subscribe to the platform. And if you have any questions, reach out to myself or Terry. Thanks, Terry, for coming on.